me!
Episode 310.
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like it's a little off when we aren't telling people that we're going to give them the info they need to achieve mega nerd status.
Mega nerd status.
That's right. NetHeads. Log on. Anyway, welcome, everybody. New edition of NetHeads coming at you live right now. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
If you want to take part in the program, you can. One of many ways. Typically, we do that via Twitter. Trent, what does that even mean?
Yeah, just get on the old tweet box and hammer out the old NetHeads. And you'll distract me and control the show, or we'll answer questions, or you can just spam us. Ash Williams.
Well, Ian Graham it says, hi, guys, and that fracking cat says nerds. So that's nice. I don't know if he meant that in... Yeah, I don't know if he meant that in that way. Ogre, you asshole.
I hope
Ogre.
so.
That is one of my favorite moments in the original Revenge of the Nerds, during the belching competition, when Ogre goes up there and he says Ogre's full name, and then he just leans into the dean and he whispers something and he says, Ogre, you asshole.
Yeah,
Ogre.
That was the first R-rated movie I ever watched.
Oh, really? Honestly, I think that may have been mine as well. As a matter of fact, it was also, I think, the first cool bonding experience I had with my older brother John, because he took me to go see it.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I think I wanted to go see something else, and he's like, let's go see this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if somebody else wants to take the time to go ahead and look up when that movie came out.
And then there was a Dean Pelton moment in you that said, I hope this doesn't awaken something inside of me.
Right? Yeah, just a little bit. Well, I mean, it was pre-teen, so it didn't really awake a lot in me at that time. I'll be honest, but I'm sure it would have informed something later. Oh, it was 1984, so I would have been 13 in 1984, so I'm a dirty, dirty liar. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you very much for dropping in. Thank you for joining us. I had a funny hunch that if we were to do something during the daytime, there may be a few people on hand that may drop in on things while we were going live. So it's so nice to have you guys joining us. So nice to see you here. Really, really appreciate it. Also, Trent, I hear good things about your wrestling endeavors. There is news on the horizon.
Yeah.
Or wait, hold on. I guess I should have asked ahead of the time. Nothing's changed, right?
No, just 11:30. If you're in the Intermountain West area, CW 30, Channel 30, Saturday, and then again on Sunday they'll do a rerun, episode 1, and I am doing my best to get it ready to go. Pretty cool though, because I am working with definitely one of the most controversial figures in professional wrestling of all time. And I'm learning a ton from him. There's no doubt about that. Vince Russo is pretty much my director in this, and it's been a huge, I've learned a ton in a very short amount of time.
Oh, well, that's actually good to hear. And it's actually, you got to think about that. This is something that's really, really cool. So you've been running video at these wrestling events, and you now are taking, which is going to lead me into a rant, I'm sure. I'm about to be triggered, by the way. So
trigger warning.
Yeah, so hang in there. But it's actually kind of really cool, good news, because you're doing this with just equipment that you've got around the house, right? You personally.
Well, I mean, it is equipment that I have around my house, but it's professional equipment.
Right, exactly. But still,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you are. Well, anyway, you are literally producing a television show now.
Oh, yeah.
Not just a video for the internet, right?
No, it will air on TV. Yeah, yeah. 23.5 minutes, whatever it is. Yeah.
Very good. And so what happens after this first one airs? Is it then going to be a regular thing? Are they going to test it out,
No,
or
yeah. Every week, indefinitely. So every Tuesday, no, every Wednesday, I need to have the show to air on Saturday.
Very good. And by the way, welcome and thank you to one of our patrons, Sean Ryan. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. You are one of the people that help make us able to do what we do. Yeah, I was about to go down a rabbit hole of saying until you so promptly corrected me. No, Will, it is professional equipment. But I've been amazed recently, just reflecting on things, because the older you get, all you do is you think about your memories and the like. So I'd been reflecting on how easy. God, this sounds just like this is the worst thing I could possibly say, to tip my hand at my age. But it is incredible the things that people are now able to do with a PC and just their phone.
Oh yeah.
That geez, almost 20 years ago, I had to have a computer and a big friggin' box and cameras and time sync and all that jazz to do. I mean, like literally, what we're doing right here is even probably more complex. Well, not quite as complex as what I was doing with Play TV, but I'm just able to do it all from here. Anybody can do this. I mean, there are literally, pardon me, individuals who are able to do whatever it is they do on Twitch, and they're actually able to make a living and sustain themselves just by doing that, whether it's playing games or whatever it is they do, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm kind of amazed at the world we live in, and I love technology. Although I do have to say that I'm really starting to get annoyed by the mobile phone industry, especially the smartphone industry, because I feel like we are now in an era where I think we're going to start to see things shrink back again. They've been trying to come out with foldable phones and everything they can do to give us a bigger screen.
Yep.
But we're also like hitting what I would view as a threshold on the cost of a phone as well. And and I'm really hoping things get smaller because recently, well, not recently, but I had upgraded to the new iPhone. But I had gone with the iPhone 11 Pro, but not the Max, and because it was a screen size that was a little smaller, but longer than my iPhone 6 6 Plus that I had been rocking for the longest time. And now the one thing I was reflecting on, though, is the amount of money that I spent to have this damn phone, and it's just nonsensical at this point, really. I mean, and you've been living in an Android world, which is the perfect world, I think, to live in when it comes to things of that nature.
Yeah. And I, the last phone I bought specifically purchased one that had a smaller than 3.5-inch wide screen.
Mm-hmm.
On purpose, and there was one I could find that met all but one of the requirements that I wanted. So, and honestly, dude, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm around like actual computers so much. I'd never use my phone ever for anything.
As somebody that often tries to get in touch with you, I can definitely testify to that.
Yeah, I just no, I just don't ever need to use my phone for anything, and like it dies all the time, and not out of bad battery life, out of just like meh.
It's like I don't care, which is funny because you live in a world that I almost wish I could live in some ways, because I feel like I can't afford to be away from my phone because of the God, it's gonna sound bad, but the services I offer. So
Right.
I don't feel like I have that luxury so much. So honestly, I wouldn't have an Apple Watch if it weren't for the things I do. And I only have it so that I can get faster notification of a request or information that's being asked of me, or some call to action.
And it's funny too. Not funny. It's interesting because like, and it all just depends on who you're working with, right? Like, I don't have a single phone number of anyone that I'm doing this wrestling stuff with, and so like. And they're all, all except one are younger than me. Vince, he's the only one that's older than me. But like everyone else, it's like, oh yeah, just hit me up on Facebook Messenger, and like, which is fine if I'm at my computer. But I'm very much against downloading the Messenger app onto my phone, And so if I'm ever like in transit and I'm running late or whatever, I have to pull up the desktop version of Facebook on my mobile device so I can then access the messenger. Because if you go in through the mobile side, it just says download our app. But yeah,
Mm-mm.
so in that case, a phone number would be great.
Oh, dude, I again, I completely get it because I think I do have the chat app on the iPhone, but on the Pixel 3 XL, I constantly have a notification from on in Facebook if I open it, and it's because I refuse to put that chat program on the Android.
Yeah.
I won't do it. And honestly speaking, I've been very clear. So and thank you very much for everyone that does try and reach out and try and friend me on Facebook. But honestly speaking, the only thing I use Facebook for now are the social media marketing purposes. That's
Yep.
it. So
Same.
So I'm not ignoring you, and I'm not meaning to offend you. I'm not gonna get involved in that world anymore. I don't agree with a lot of Facebook's practices. I don't agree with their stances. I just don't. So I'm not gonna support them in that manner. I'm just going to exploit them for my own means, and that's it. And that's all. That's all I'm gonna do. So, Trent, with everything that's going on in the world, I have a question, mainly because you are in definitely what we would refer to as a college town, correct?
Sure.
Yes. No? You wouldn't agree that way?
I mean, I live in a college town.
Right.
Yes.
So my question is this, because as you know, in the world of social media, things move really fast and things get really popular. Trends come and go. And I think in our lifetime here doing NetHeads, we have kind of seen how Facebook was extremely popular, and then it kind of became your parents' app, and then more people migrated to like Instagram. And now I'm sure we're probably starting to see the exact same thing with TikTok happening in the world, right? So
Yeah, I've heard that is a thing.
yeah, it definitely is. So, that's going to blow my questioning because already I've been wondering about like the impact on your world or the things you see around you. I may have not noticed certain things going on in the world around me, but when I was going shopping for Christmas, my daughter and I were at like the local outlet malls because love a deal. And as we're coming around the bend and we're walking to like the next set of stores or what have you, there are two people that are dancing in front of a mobile phone.
Oh shit.
And I'm just like, what the hell is that? And as we go past, my daughter leans in and she goes, oh my gosh, they're recording a TikTok. And plenty of mockery then ensued. Because I'm like, oh, and naturally, being the old guy, I'm like, what's a TikTok, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and now here we are, March 2nd, and good God, man. Well, let me tell you a story, all right?
Wasn't there something else that predates TikTok that was the exact same thing though?
If you want to get into the TikTok of it,
Yeah.
if you want to get into the TikTok of it, there was, well, first of all, you originally had like, what was it, Vine? Was that it, or the other?
No, there was another one that was lip syncing though, specifically.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
So
TikTok.
so then I can get you to that, and that was like basically, I think Musical.ly, and then there was TikTok. TikTok bought Musical.ly, and then it all became TikTok.
Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah,
But
because I know Pay Money Wubby did some videos on like the real grossness of a lot of the children doing these videos, and he got shut down because the owner of the company said that he was infringing on their IP, which he wasn't. He was critiquing it. Anyway, but yeah, so that makes sense. I didn't know whatever happened to Musical.ly, and that's because it's TikTok.
yeah, and I gotta say too, I don't know. I can only tell you in the way that I have now come into that world what I see, but now it's kind of become a hybrid of things. It is a lot of lip syncing, but also there's micro vlogging. There's what I would definitely call micro comedy sketching. all of the type of short attention span theater stuff that could drag you in, right?
Right.
And in this world where you could definitely, depending on where you live, want distraction, I think it's a very powerful tool. And obviously it's a very popular or a very powerful platform as well, because you can, out of a pool of, I think, 800 million users right now actively in the application, you very easily could have people that have multi-million followers, even though I still don't understand the concept of influencer or what have you. You could have very easily have a wide audience. You could have a big audience, comparatively speaking. I've been hovering around 4,800 followers on Twitter for the longest time. I have never attempted to grow my Instagram brand at all because I'm me. But in that world, depending on whatever type of content it is you do, there's definitely going to be an audience. Much in the same way that I think people are a little more decisive now in their podcast ingesting as well. Like I on a recent trip, I was able to overhear what podcasting is perceived as in the real world now, and for people that are, I would say, of a generation like your generation and even newer, I think you're getting into a realm where people are using podcasting now and listening to podcasts as their methodology for getting their like documentary style information, or getting their news, or even finding ways to improve their life. All of these things they're finding in podcasts. It is even less driven by celebrity, as I may have said in the past, that it is.
Yeah, it's almost like it's filling what used to only be filled by like public radio or public television for that matter, right? It's another avenue to get niche, quirky, but factual information.
Right. And so that's kind of what podcasting has become. So I don't belittle anything about podcasting. It's still one of my favorite platforms, because if you don't do all of the ridiculous complexity that for some reason I have dragged you into us doing, it is a very simple method of being able to communicate. It is a very effective one and very passive, which in a lot of ways TikTok, I think, kind of is coming across as well. And I want to kind of show you what is a perfect example, and I hope he doesn't mind me making this one. But if you remember, like early on in the run of NetHeads, there was occasional interaction with, at the time, the Twitter user's name was Johnny White Trash.
Oh yeah.
And now he goes by the Twitter handle of Blaine Makes Food. Well, just in the same way that I've done with Nethead WW, he has taken Blaine Makes Food as his brand. And so wherever you look on social media, that's more than likely a name you're going to find him under. Now, I'm not going to look up his Twitter account, but I can tell you that on TikTok, the Blaine Makes Food account, so Blaine's account, he has over 10,000 followers on TikTok, right?
Hell yeah.
And the videos he's mostly doing are just interactions with he and his wife. Now, interestingly enough, his wife has an account as well, which is, I believe, Blaine and Nakai, and that one has even more followers. And it's all, but it's and that one is almost all like life vlogging. And again, the longest you can go on a video for a TikTok is 1 minute. So it's at the most it's 1 minute stories that you're telling. So it's obviously a very available platform. It's got a very diverse audience. And let me tell you the unfortunate reason why I know this, Trent.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Because I do have a TikTok account. I did not intend ever on doing videos on it. It was New Year's Eve. Hi, Roller Dog NC. Good to see you, sir. I'm opening up my phone now. And we were at a friend's house for New Year's Eve, my wife and I, and Blair. She has kids. We have kids, so, it's a perfect thing. Their family, our family are friendly. It was really nice. And one of the elements that came up is, well, do you guys have TikTok? And I swear, I think this is generally the way most people are now getting on the app. It's not out of the curiosity of hearing about it. It's because you know somebody else who's telling you, oh, no, go on it. Go. You should you should get it because there's a lot of funny stuff. And, I can forward you funny videos. So sign up, do it. Just download it. And then you start seeing the different types of content. And you're like, okay, well, there really is stuff here that's entertaining for me. So the reason why I know that it has a diverse audience, because, hey, Vector, explore. Now he'll start moving around. If you're watching the video, or if you check out netheadsonair.com or our YouTube channel, Netheads on Air, then you know that in studio I have a little robot. Well, one day I just decided to put up a video of him. Right? And then I started asking him stupid questions.
Yeah.
And now, like the latest video, all I did is I said, okay. The fun thing is I don't want him to trigger, but like you can just tell him run, and then he will like bolt, right? I did that, and I recorded it and I posted it, just thinking, and here's the other reason, by the way, why the platform is addictive is because I think with the way it works, as long as you got good lighting, you can always feel like something is happening because it's probably very easy to get at least 70 plus views. So you look at your own statistics and you feel like things are happening, Trent.
Sure.
Right? And so with this, if you then, you don't think about it. You record something and I posted it and then I went to bed because I didn't even think about it. Because, I'm like, I've got like 70 to 140 views on things typically. So just, forget about it. I poured cream in a cup of coffee that got 326 views. Right?
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Statistics that as a podcaster, you could think, wow, if this could exponentially grow from something this stupid, if we could actually put out some decent content, we could really parlay the brand. So I did this one stupid video. I think it was like last night or the night before. Over 2,000 views. I woke up to all kinds of likes. My followers doubled, which, by the way, we're talking about going from 12 to 24. I'm not bragging here.
That's not bad, man.
Overnight from one thing at all. Just that's it. Boom. There you go. Now suddenly you're moving. And that is the type of thing that frightens you when you start looking at it, because especially for like gamers, okay, that's the type of mentality I like to kind of slip in here. There is there's a very feeding of the addiction appeal, because you do something,
what you're saying, yes,
you do something, you see something, and that's exactly where I fall into as well. It's like, oh my gosh, that did something. And Trent, you and I, thankfully, part of the reason why we are able to come together is because we share the disease, is what I like to think of it as.
Yes.
I can't tell you why other than talking to my good friend, which I do consider you a good friend. As a matter of fact, I think you may be my only friend at this point. You share the disease. For some reason, we're compelled to do these things. For some reason, we are compelled to make some type of content. I don't know what that reason is. Do you know why you're compelled to do it?
I don't know. I get bored, maybe. I don't know. But I say that because I'm never bored, because I'm always got something to work on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know why. Or Temple Grandin has this great quote where she says she doesn't want her ideas to die with her. And I've always thought that maybe this is just me like trying to like outrace death by getting all my ideas out at the same time.
I don't mean to sound dark, but I was thinking about that the other day. I think the reason why I'm compelled to do it, because my wife even said, it's not like you're doing it to be successful, because I'm not. I'm never going to be an influencer. I'm never going to blow up on social media. Unless I get tagged in the nuts really good on video, I'm never going to go viral.
Right.
But I actually think it does come down to the human condition and mortality. I think it's just a matter of, by doing this and getting something out there, more people know I exist, so it means that I at least meant something after walking God's green earth, okay?
Yep.
So that's the reason why TikTok is dangerous. One, because it is a very kind of slip the quarter in, something happens and you get feedback, or complete the quest and you've got an immaterial thing that means nothing in the real world, but in game now you've got something.
Yeah. No, I totally get that, and it's that. I mean, gosh, how many times, like, and it's the exact opposite of like web views, right?
Yeah.
Of like web page views, right? Where you're like, okay, we got to give it a week before we even look at the statistics, because we don't know what but no, with TikTok it sounds like it's pretty responsive.
By the way, thankfully Blaine has come on, and I think he's cool with the fact that we brought him up, and he even said, and that's the magic of TikTok. Now, here's the scary thing about TikTok. There's that one. So, for somebody seeking attention, or somebody who needs validation, or what have you, it's probably a wonderful platform, because again, you feed the beast feeds you back. Wonderful. Here's the other way it's scary, though, because everything you do on the app, like any other app, is tracked. But with this one, if you pay attention, you can really see the opinion that their algorithm or their AI learning is building about you. Okay.
So yeah. I've never even like logged on or anything. So like I start an account. What's my opening feed look like?
Okay. The quickest and easiest and most basic that I would say is you open up the app and instantly you are given one of two feeds. Following, which at that point, you're not following anybody.
Right.
And then the other one, which is the one you default in at the home view, is For You. The For You page, as they describe it, which actually...
a curated bunch of whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever is trending and popular at the time. Or more than likely... all of the base videos that they can release out to see how you interact or react with them, so that way they can build an opinion. Their artificial intelligence can then learn what it is you like to feed you more of that. I had started the one account, and I instantly had liked all of my friends' videos because, she's like, here's my video. So we liked them. And then, you start scrolling and you may like some things, you may follow some people, and that starts building an opinion of you. And then, for shits and giggles, I then opened up a different account just to take a different approach to see what it thought of me. And I even went off the iPhone and went on to the Android for this. And in this particular case, I wanted to make sure location services was on. And it was interesting to see the totally diverse and different view it had of me when I didn't give it any feedback at first. Because it went from one where I was getting like all the little trendy stuff, and then you could definitely tell on my iPhone that I was a sucker for trends. I liked seeing people's different takes on this, because that world will create what I keep referring to, a trend. So in other words, somebody comes up with something and then other people do the exact same thing. By the way, Blaine says you'll probably see dudes with beards. That's most of what I saw for the first couple of weeks. Since I've liked all your videos, Blaine, yes, I see a lot of beard dudes.
It's and like beer reviews probably.
Mm-hmm. So with the one account, you could tell I was on trends, which makes sense because my wife's friend, her videos were tapping into trends and the like. But then I went into the naked account, as I call it, and I made sure location services were on. And I've said it before, I live in a very is it called rural area? We got agriculture and all that kinds around us. And instantly, it was interesting to see the different view, because I saw a lot of the same base conditional videos I had seen before, but I had seen them before. So I instantly went past them. And then because of where I live and whatever trends are going on around me, I start seeing a lot more of Jeep and truck videos. And I don't want to say redneck entertainment, because I'm not trying to give a negative connotation. I'm just trying to say it was more, more red state entertainment. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that instantly keyed me in. Oh my gosh, this is scary. This thing is learning about me. It's getting an opinion of me. At which point I was very thankful that I had continuously moved past like all of the girls dancing videos and stuff, because instantly, I could imagine somebody getting freaked out thinking this thing's pegged me as a pedo. But
Well, and like that's for like the layman like myself, that doesn't have an account and only sees it through like SNL sketches and whatnot. That's what I think it is, right? It's
Right.
the lip syncing for kids.
Yeah, exactly. And if you, so this probably won't come across on the camera, but much like a dating app, Trent, when you're scrolling through the feed, right? It's just as simple as I'm going to swipe up now to the next thing. Nope, I don't like that. Swipe up. Nope, definitely don't like that. Swipe up.
And
nope.
Is that all from the same user?
This is from my naked account. Now this guy is I've seen his videos. He's going to pose a question or a riddle and then say if I did it right, then you got to like or follow, whatever, subscribe. So that's all it is. It builds an opinion of what you do, and you're not hearing any of the content. But like in a way, it's a lot like a dating app. Swipe left or right kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is true. So this person is just missorting well, that one went somewhere else. Anyway, it refreshed. So as you can see, very addictive, very easy. And then if you want to see more about the user, you can then just swipe to see more of their... No, not you. Go away. You can swipe to see more of their profile information, at which point now it's pegged me for something. Now it's saying, well, why is he looking more into this? So now that has now been flagged as part of my content, per se. It's in some ways there, it terrifies me about the things that it starts building an opinion of you.
And how many active users did you say they have?
I believe the number is somewhere around 800 million.
Dude, I'm just thinking of like the computing power necessary to be able to run analytics on that many users.
Yeah, but you have to realize, Trent,
that's insane.
Yeah, but we reside in a cloud computing environment now, so it doesn't matter the amount of infrastructure that it takes. You don't even have to have real machines anymore. With the cloud and with Amazon Cloud Services or any of the other providers, now they just have high-powered arrays of virtual computers. So, you need more computing power. You just put in a build request, and they're able to spin it right up and occupy more memory.
Right? Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah. When I say I should qualify that, I wonder how many acres of AWS they are taking up.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, which like I think in November, you could tell that the popularity was happening and that the current administration may have certain views. TikTok technically is, I believe, a Chinese company.
It is from the Jiang Zemin company.
There we go. So I think it was like in November, you started seeing news stories that some aspects of our government were, investigating for potential whatever. I'm coming here for news first, folks. That's what we do. We give you the hard, cold facts. They were looking at something, but I'm sure they were having some of the similar concerns that may have happened with other apps where people were signing up for stuff, and then it's like, well, what part of your data have you shared, and what part has been exfiltrated against your knowledge? That type of thing. So in that respect, it kind of frightens me. I don't know why I keep saying how much it frightens me, yet I spend so much time on it, Trent.
Well, because you got to level up, Will. Come on.
Yeah. Well, no, the reason why, first of all, here's the reason why I can tell you I do enjoy viewing things on the app. The reason why I do is because it is a wonderful distraction from everything else in the world. I don't have to pay attention to the news when I'm in there. People, obviously, through my viewing trends, I get a lot of funny things, so I get a good chuckle, I get entertainment. At the same time, unfortunately, I am just feeding my brain with a bunch of short attention span stuff, so now I'm not learning a goddamn thing in the world.
But I mean, that's video games, though, at the same time, right? Like, you just want to be able to passively engage in something that doesn't take a lot of emotional effort.
Now you bring up a good point, because unlike video games, which, my family did get me a PS4, and I did play the Spider-Man game. Since then, the PS4 is now in a box. Don't judge me. But in that respect, it's the same type of feedback loop, but I can just quickly and easily click and I'm done. There was a point in my marriage when I was heavily addicted to EverQuest. And anybody that's played most, I'm sure, major multiplayer games, there was a statement now that's still used in my house, and that's "I just gotta." Because like, well, I'll do that, but I just got to do this first. I just got to do that first. I just got to. I can't do. I just got to do this, and
Just
then the
gotta
raid
get
will
through
dissolve.
one last one, and then
Yeah, exactly. So, but I do have to say, I think it is one of those amazing platforms where, if you can find a niche to use it for, it could possibly expand other things of your quote unquote brand. You and I, NetHeads, it is a brand per se.
sure.
I don't, but I guarantee you, there's not going to be anything here that is probably going to draw in anyone from the TikTok audience, except for maybe Blaine, because I mentioned him. We said his name 3 times. Now he's here.
His medicine hat ears were tingling.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I love about being on air during the daytime for once for us too is that with our chat, you see people popping up on Twitch, because we're going out to Twitch, and they're dropping in to see what's going on, but unlike any other channel, they're not getting immediate reaction and they're popping back out. So thanks for dropping in, and
Like,
see you
notice
later.
me.
Yeah. Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's just kind of my 2 cents that I wanted to say on that. It is definitely a really interesting and amazing platform. I think it's also, it has a lot of terrifying aspects for exploitation as well, though.
Oh yeah.
Because haters gonna hate and creepers are gonna creep.
Creeper's gonna creep. Well, and that's and yeah, and that's kind of along the lines of like what Pay Money Wubby is always like, being like, are we sure this is something we should be allowing to happen? This is not right.
No, legit, I agree with you. As a matter of fact, I think that one of my not one of my concerns with my kid being on it, because thankfully Emily seems to have a solid head on her shoulders, and she's not like publishing any content that really shows her. She has an account too, but nothing negative in that manner. But like, one of the trends that's going on, once you hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, then you can go live. Now, that is an attraction, because then people can start to, just like subscribing on your Twitch stream or other things, they can start gifting you items in live chat that, TikTok gets a percentage of whatever coins or monetary draw happens there. And
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So there's a draw there for people.
So I mean, not unlike other internet camera based occupations can profit from as well. Just saying that their content can be monetized, not unlike others have been monetized.
Yeah, exactly. So you could very well start, making some money. I think TikTok actually takes a pretty high percentage of it, but you could start making money that way, just in the same way that you could live stream to make money there. Although we all know the truth is you're never going to make money through the apps. It's going to be people donating you through other methods, or you've gained such a presence that then brands are going to ask you to start pushing their stuff.
Yeah.
But, as a parent, there are things on there that are kind of terrifying. Like, there is a trend now. And if you don't even know your kid is on TikTok, first of all, you got a problem. Second of all, though, if your kid is on TikTok, like, there is a current trend where people are under the they're under the idea or misconception that if they live stream themselves sleeping, so they're setting their phones and they're starting a live stream and then they're going to sleep, or they're faking going to sleep. I don't know which one at this point. But they're doing one of those two things. And then, like, so one of them, thankfully I saw a guy doing it, so I checked it out. And sure enough, like, you go in there and people are spamming chat roulette information. They're spamming phone numbers. And that's a terrifying thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me, especially as a parent. So, it is definitely one of those things where I'm sure we are in the very near future going to hear about parents having to be a little more concerned about or paying attention to. It is, but still, I think it does have potential. Now, there is a guy, Trent. I don't know. I'm going to say a name, and let's see if there's any recognition on your face when I say it. Do you know who Gary V is?
Nope.
Okay, thank God, because before I went on TikTok, I had no idea as well. And I don't know if he's some type of social media advice guru or what.
Okay.
But
Okay.
he is basically like said that TikTok is one of the things you have to be on, not the reason why I'm there. But, you know, I don't understand how people get money when they're telling other people to go on platforms, but a lot of people I see are definitely following this guy's advice, and they're like, you should be on it, you have no choice, you need to be on it.
Yeah.
And you know, people follow his advice. I'm sure there are other aspects. You know, I was thinking about it too. I feel like you are somebody that should be in charge of social media management for people. That's just
Of
me.
like of people's private accounts.
Well, no, like brand
Oh,
accounts.
because I would like that actually. Hire me, and I'll tell you what's important, and I'll give you like a brief at the end of the day. Like, yeah, Jennifer's dog finally had puppies. None of them are cute, so don't worry about it.
Oh my God! Now I want to start an entire service that is just me informing you of the things you should be that you are following on social media, but you can't be trusted to go on.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need like a mediator between your feed and this person is there to buffer that for you.
Excellent.
You know, kind of like in AAA they have like sober companions, right? Where someone will go out with you for the evening or whatever just to make sure that you don't drink. Well, just give me all your social logins and I'll tell you what you need to know.
By the way, I'm sorry, everybody. I just realized I forgot to turn on NetHeads on Air Skype. So if you did want to call in and scare the living piss out of us, you now can when the ringing noise happens. It's firing up right now. So if you wanna chime in on this, only because I mentioned it because Blaine points out that it's about a 50-50 split between TikTok and the creators.
Oh, well, that's not bad then.
So yeah, it's not a bad revenue split. It's not too bad. It's still free money, right?
Yeah.
So
well,
nobody's
and
going to
times
complain.
that by 800 million.
Oh, and by
Not
the
bad
way,
at all.
here's another reason, Trent, if you don't mind me dialing it back to a previous discussion. Here is one of the cool things about doing this that makes you feel better when you do have your inane ramblings recorded and putting it out there into the world. Legally Blind Lurker is joining us through the Twitch stream, and he says, been listening for years. You got going about the same time I went legally blind, so thank you for keeping me sane through the first few months. Wow.
Oh, dude.
I'm glad that our nonsense was in any way, shape, or form able to help you. And that sucks, but so glad to know that at least there has been some. I know now I'm making it sound like we're some good in the world. It's nice to know that we were able to at least help you transitioning into a new form of living. I guess that's the best way to put it, right?
And sorry for all the dick and fart jokes. Unless that helped, then you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Then glad to be of service, and boy howdy, we got
and
more.
Boy, let me know, and I'll lay it on thick with the dick.
Oh, I really want that one to be the show title, but I don't know how much. I don't even want to know what that SEO is going to attract.
Oh yeah, the traffic would spike. It would go from like, 6 to midnight.
I think I don't know. Was it a radio? No, I think it was a NetHeads where we had on Zach Knutson, and if you've seen
Interspecies Erotica, is that what the episode was?
That's the one.
Yep.
And I'm terrified to tell you the types of statistics I saw off that show title.
Yep. Yeah. Zach actually he posted a I can't remember. Maybe it was like a gin joint or a cigar store or something kind of fancy or whatever. But the store had the term donkey in it, and it was a very classy joint or whatever. But of course, just by him taking the photo, everyone had to comment about Kinky Kelly.
Yeah, I saw that one, and I was very tempted to just say, I miss my donkey.
I know that's exactly what I was gonna. But then I was like, you know what? He's got enough. There's already like 10 people that have said that exact same thing. I'm gonna just leave that one in my mind.
I respect your logic, sir. I respect it very much. By the way, Legally Blind Lurker also wants to point out, and just like Francis, I'm doing well. Oh, there's a name we haven't heard for a while, right?
I know, yeah.
Hope he's doing well. Anyway, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a full dissertation of TikTok. That's probably just a gnat in my wife's ear bringing it up. But when we see these different social media platforms come and go, I remember when you wanted to try and be in the top 8 on somebody's MySpace.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
we see these ebbs and flows. By the way, is Tom still your friend, Trent? That's what I want to know.
Yes, yes, he is. Oh, and Verizon kind of like piggybacked off that as well. Remember when you could have X amount your fave 5 that could be in your unlimited calling list back when they used to charge for calling time?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
But
that was a
oh,
thing
wait,
too.
yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm with you.
These are like, so I've got my mom and my girlfriend and my blah blah blah, my blah blah blah, and it doesn't cost. I can call them anytime. I don't have to wait until non-peak hours to call them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will tell you this: if by some miracle, which I don't anticipate happening, but if by some miracle, my TikTok account were to gain enough followers to where we could go live, I will find a way to port audio into this, even though they would only be
Yes.
stuck looking at me. We would take NetHeads live on TikTok. for
Yeah,
sure.
or maybe that's a new segment where like you're my TikTok mediator, right? We're coming up with these ideas, right? So I don't even have a TikTok account, or maybe I do, but I can't even log into it. And you are just going to mediate. Okay, here's what you need to know on TikTok today, Trent.
Well, I'm sure if you think, well, actually, you know what, too? I will admit I've reached out to a few creators because, your availability kind of ebbs and flows, and there are times that we do want to help fill the gaps. By the way, see, I posted a video right before we went on the air, and it's already got 2,238 views. What the fuck is going on? And we've gone up to 31 followers. Great. One of the things that I have reached out to a few creators, and I've heard from one, and if you track him over basically the past 3 months, he's gone from 0 to 80,000 followers. And I should also schedule time with Blaine, sir, and we should talk to you and Nakai and get your perspectives. But I'm very curious to find out now for up and coming actors or people how much your social media presence weighs in on the audition process or getting jobs now, because it's obviously your quote unquote influence means something. So much so that I know that after I wouldn't even be aware of this crap if I hadn't had the app on here. But one of the things that happened during the halftime show is there is a very popular girl that dances on TikTok, and apparently she was one of the people that was on stage with J-Lo during the Super Bowl halftime.
Oh.
And you got to wonder, okay, was that because she's a big fan of J-Lo and J-Lo got the word, or did somebody say, oh, we should get a TikToker up on stage too?
Yeah. Like the floss kid that exploded.
Oh, the backpack dance kid, as I like to think of it.
Yeah, that was doing the floss.
That
I'm gonna try to do it because it's sad. Although whenever I am having a bad day, I just watch the boomerang of Ted Danson doing the backpack dance, and I feel a lot better.
I don't blame you. Oh, and look at that. We said his name too many times, Trent. We have someone Blaine. How you doing, sir?
It's those medicine hat ears. They were burning.
Yeah.
You?
Come again?
Gross.
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me or no?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, good. Yes, I was a little worried because I'm driving. So.
Oh, well, that's. I really feel like I have a civic duty to just at this point advise you not to do this. But welcome to the program.
Safety first, then teamwork.
So, how you doing, sir? And what did you want to share with us today?
Hello?
This is starting to become a phone call with my mom.
No, okay, I'm sorry. I think I'm back now. I got heard the hands-free is doing the hands-free thing and all of that.
Oh, he sounds so deliciously Canadian, doesn't he?
Yeah, I know. It's like we're talking to
I
Squirrely
really
Dan
try
here.
not to, but
No, please. It's wonderful. How you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing all right. How about you guys?
I mean, we're doing pretty good, thanks. I think I am. Trent, how you doing?
No complaints on my end, sir.
Awesome. So let me ask you.
I can't hear Trent.
Oh, of course not. Why should things
That's
work
okay.
around here?
Worst things happen to better people.
Don't
I
worry
know
about it.
technology is great, but it's still just,
Yeah, especially when you've got a mixer that has 5 different outputs. But, while we're talking, I could probably stall to figure it out. Anyway, so now that I invoked your name and we drew you in, what can we do you for?
I just phoned because I'm on my way home from work now, and I heard my name, and I realized I don't even think I have phoned the show as Blaine.
No, definitely not.
No.
Because I'll admit there was a certain point where, and it wasn't even when I came across you, which is funny, Trent. Honest to God, Blaine just popped up in my For You feed, and I'm like, wait, what was his name? It was something white trash, and then I went on to Twitter to try and figure out what it was. But
who the hell's Johnny White Trash?
Yeah, well, actually, I saw him pop up, and then I was trying to remember what his Twitter handle was, because I knew it had changed. But yeah, you had even popped up in my For You feed, and I instantly had to tell him that because it just cracked me up.
That was awesome. That was how I found you, because you're like, oh, well, you popped up. I'm like, oh, okay, so he's on there. I'm like, NetHeads on there? No, okay. Well, like I searched for everything except for, NetHead WW. Why would I search for the obvious one, right?
Well, I don't blame you, because most of the time people are like, what's a NetHead WW?
Nice.
So let me ask you, sir, I'm very curious. First of all, what made you get on the platform? And how is it living in a home where you have 2 different accounts with very varying numbers of followers?
Well, it's kind of weird, because my wife, we started 2 accounts. We have one where we kind of do us, and then one where I was supposed to just do food videos, and then I don't really do food videos, but it's still called Blaine Makes Food, so it happens. But geez, you're gonna laugh at this. I literally started looking at the app again because Gary Vee told me to.
I just said. See? Okay, good. Blaine, now not only is your call fun, but it's helpful. Who the hell is Gary Vee?
Gary Vaynerchuk is an entrepreneur. He used to run his dad's liquor store. He started a new company, a digital marketing company, basically, and he just goes on rants and stuff, and the whole time he's doing it, he's the CEO of this multi-million-dollar company at the same time. And he has a whole team that just makes content, because that's his big belief. Like, if you're not making content for the internet, you don't matter as a company, as a business.
Okay,
Sure.
Well, that makes no. I completely believe that, and it makes sense. If you're not,
Yeah, and I mean, and if he was doing a good enough job, we would know who he was. So he doesn't matter.
see, he can hear you now because he laughed at you. It worked.
But you did bring him up.
Yes, I did specifically because naturally, why would I actually Google something and learn when I can have somebody else just tell me? It's much easier that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Honestly, I don't even know when or where I started listening to him. I just listened to him. He's got a real message about positivity and a very crude way of saying things that just resonates with me.
Okay, I can respect that. And, all I know is that I have seen a lot of people come up on the TikTok app who they literally have said one way or another that they just downloaded this because Gary Vee told them to do, and now what has their life become? Which I get, because you start looking at everything now and you're like, oh, I can make something about that.
Right, for sure.
It's addictive, Trent. It's horribly addictive. So it's good to
So Blaine, I mean, you've been in the Snapchat for years. What's the advantage here of TikTok over Snapchat?
Over everything?
Yeah.
what I'm about to say, that's how I feel. The advantage of it over Twitter, over Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Snapchat is organic reach. You can upload something and it's going to get a chance. Maybe it only gets a chance with 20, 30 people, and if like it goes through 30 people and nobody likes it, that's all the chance you get. Sometimes you get, you know, like on the one account, we got one that has 2 million views because people just keep liking it.
Yeah. And again, Trent, you don't have to do anything. Like, I've literally done nothing. I mean, it's a little disappointing that well, but it's also understandable. Nobody wants to look at a bald dickhead and they want to watch a little robot because it's a lot more interesting, and I get that. But at the same time, it's a little soul-crushing, I'll admit. But look at that. All I did is I shot one little video, posted it, and now nutty with the views. And because I have obviously now hit a niche, it's starting to snowball. And
So
that may be what the algorithm is trying to feed everyone.
yeah. So based on, you know, the few times that I have streamed on Twitch playing video games, the face cam I always use is usually just of a dog, a live feed of the dog watching me play video games. And those by far had the most traction. So a TikTok, I mean, there's got to be TikTok dogs, right? That's got to be a thing, because I know Instagram dogs are a thing.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
TikTok dogs are like the thing.
Okay. Now you're talking
honestly,
my language. This is something I can get into.
Yeah, like there's this one soundbite going around, and it's something along the lines of like, oh, you know, this is how you get TikTok famous. You open the door and boom, puppy. Now we're TikTok famous.
I did one of those.
That sound alone. You did one? Yeah, I saw that. I like that one. Yeah. Yeah, you got the two white dogs, right?
That is correct, sir.
Boy, am I glad I got that right. It would have been embarrassing if I didn't.
Not really. It's okay.
But like it's just a like, yeah, and you start liking dog videos, and then there's some cute dog videos out there. Let me tell you, I don't care who you are. There's no other word for it. It's just cute.
Yeah. Especially, oh god, I'm a sucker for corgis. I got to admit it. They are just adorable little short-legged buggers. And again, Trent, if you do hit a niche, you end up just organically making things happen. People start getting drawn to it. And again, I don't know. I don't know if I've been lucky or if it's just the way the app works. But I think like my lowest viewed video is still just shy of 100 views, which is in the scope of their entire user base is really low. But again, it's enough to just keep you going.
And put it in the context of like, you know, doing the same content on a static web page with a URL, how much more visible that is than say a web crawling search algorithm, right? Like that's I understand where you're coming from as far as like you know, you've got your chance to be seen, and where Blaine's coming from in that like you are going to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For sure.
And by the way, sir, I did see you flipping burgers, so you have been making food.
I need to make more.
Well, and you bought all them lights for it, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we just I saw deals on lights on Amazon, and I bought some. Like, it's I don't know about you guys, but like I have more video cameras and lights and mic stands and tripods than I'll ever actually need.
Oh, you could never have too many lights. I am constantly pining for more lights, always.
Well,
for sure.
And in this LCD world now, it's considerably inexpensive to put together good lighting.
Oh, for sure. The three I bought are LEDs, and the nicest thing about them, because I had a set of like these big, you know, 5600K light bulbs that lit really good. They had in the softbox and everything, but like 15 minutes into recording in the same room as them, and I was sweating.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
are you talking like the yellow standard construction site lights that we all
Oh
see
no,
and
no,
know?
no,
Oh,
not
okay.
quite those. Like they were, I bought them on Amazon. They're studio lights, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah. With
yeah,
like the big square soft box to
yeah,
soften the light. Yeah.
yeah. They don't really soften it that much, to be
Just on
honest.
camera. Just on camera.
Yeah, yeah. Like they're oh boy, yeah. It's I don't know about you guys. The thing I learned is don't bother buying cheap stuff. You're just gonna buy the expensive one later anyway. Just save up and get the expensive one.
Yep.
Yeah, but if I want to, if I at least have one out, like I think at one point I got something to test it out, and I know that I can always hand it down to my daughter and she'll use it, kind of thing. So, and plus in the Amazon world now, you could buy something and try it and send it back.
For sure.
For me though, I mean, it's not like I'm doing anything serious with any of this stuff. So I am probably always going to go economical. I'm always going to go with something people advise works well but doesn't cost a lot of money because I really should be putting things towards like my kids' education and stuff instead of buying this crap. So
I hear that too. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's that perfect apex between cost effective, like like it's how am I trying to say this? Like there's a certain level where you just like it's costs an extra $1,000, but you're only getting a little bit. Diminishing returns.
There you go.
That's the term I was looking for. Yeah, yeah, and I think that's always trying to find the balance of like what is the perfect priced item before it just starts getting a little silly.
yeah, which is the kind of the realm I live in. Like when I do this for YouTube and Twitch and stuff, I've just got a very basic. I think it's almost like a 4x6 or a 4x8, just rectangular LCD light, and it does the job and didn't really break the bank at all. It's perfect. But if I were doing more serious stuff, or like especially if I were doing cooking and I had multi angles and stuff, I'm sure I would need more lights and more consideration. So. You do what you do. And Trent, one of the things I didn't mention about Blaine is like the majority of their vlogging is more what I would call just like real life vlogging. You know what I mean? It's just them doing stuff or talking about their day or talking about having a teenage daughter, that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and getting into like, yeah, you got to have the right equipment for the right stuff. Like Blaine, I'm sure you're a fan of Bolter, Boltr on the YouTubes.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Anyway, he's this Canadian that just does like amazing like breakdown of just power tools for in the most cases. But his like his lighting and his camera setup, it's all really really good. It's all one camera though. But it's like it's that top down view, so you can see him working on stuff. So yeah, it's knowing shooting for what you're doing is important as well. I would guess.
For sure. And somebody said something like this to me, like, you could give me the same clubs as Tiger Woods. I'm not going to hit the ball as far as him. And so there's kind of that go between of like, yes, you need nice equipment. You also need to learn how to use it. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what my wife keeps telling me.
Heyo.
Yeah, sorry. You see the easy layup. You just got to spike the ball sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
So now let me ask you though, Blaine. As somebody who would be considered a micro content creator or a small content creator, how do you feel anything has changed at all when you have an account that has the number of followers that you do?
You get more base views, right? Like you're but really you just it doesn't really feel like the difference between the two accounts, because one is 10,000 followers and one is upwards of 30. When you put a video out, it doesn't feel any difference between the two accounts. Like it's maybe it'll hit, maybe it won't, maybe it, and there really, at least to me, seems to be no rhyme or reason. Like it's just like TikTok is almost that thing where it's like, if you try, like, the harder you try, the less successful you'll be.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, like, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's very similar. I've noticed a consistent theme in my life, and I'm not sure that this is necessarily the way the universe works, but it's definitely the way it seems to treat me. I need to stop giving a shit for anything to work.
Yes.
And it's really true. I mean, there was a certain point where when it came to even doing podcasting, I hit a point where I had to stop giving a shit, and then things drastically changed. When I was on Twitter, I had to stop giving a shit, then things drastically changed. And it was the same with this. The moment I stopped really caring and I just started doing things, I don't know if that means the content got better or I just hit the right niche, but now I just realized that it is completely and truly unimportant in this world. So just do it for fun, and at that point, somehow you reap what you sow.
Well, and I think that's kind of the big thing I've noticed with TikTok is, like, well, in many ways, what YouTube used to be is there's something about just genuinely seeing somebody from somewhere talk about something that's just genuine, right? Like, there was a big thing where it's like, yes, in Canada, we call McDonald's McDicks. And this just blew up, and it's just normal people comparing what you call McDonald's, And I think all the high production and everything, I think in many ways, there's an audience out there, especially the ones on TikTok, who are sick of it. Like, I mean, if you watch vlogs on YouTube, there is a certain style of vlog that is quite popular. Like, here's the transition, here's this, here's the Photoshop thing, here's the this, right? And some people are really good at it, but some people are just following the content by numbers formula. And once you're doing that, it just, I think it takes away something from the reality of the internet and being connected, that in many ways we're all just trying to go for, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
we're just.
There's also the cinema verite aspect of it, but also too, Trent, in the communal aspect of things, it's something anyone can join in on. Like, I don't want to say the month of February, but it seemed like one of the recurring themes that kept coming up in the month of February was the one truly heated debate that I think has, at one point or another, overtaken everyone's lives. And that's that, does pineapple belong on pizza or not?
And the answer to that is no.
I completely agree, but my daughter disagrees. So we just have
and,
to...
And to it, I would say people like what they like.
Yeah, well...
I agree with you, but here's the thing. Pizza is a communal food. Right? Like, if you're just ordering, I look at it this way.
I mean,
not the way I used to eat it, dude.
Yeah,
Fair
exactly.
enough.
Says two guys with families.
Yes. Yes.
Look, I'm not saying I would have gone into Papa John's in Southern California in the old days and pick up a medium Philly cheesesteak pizza and eat it to myself for lunch, but
I can't even remember the last time I shared pizza with someone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the dog got a slice.
Yeah, he gets the crusts
There you go.
if he's a good boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely. I mean, I think that's the other draw of it, is that you could definitely, I feel, join in at any time. And that's the thing about it. Unless you're trying to do something tricky or really trying to stand out or really trying to blow up, every one of us now has a full video production tool pretty much in our pockets. So it's easily accessible. It requires minimal effort to actually do something, and join in. The only thing, of course, is if you start attributing self-worth to it, which I wouldn't encourage anyone to do with any aspect of social media whatsoever. But yeah. Oh, hey, by the way, Blaine, you're big on the wrestling, right?
Sometimes.
Okay, so
I'm in and out.
Okay, so with and I don't know, I can't answer this one, but Legally Blind Lurker asks if there is any pro wrestling element within there.
within TikTok. I could equate what a lot of people do on there to be similar to cutting promos. Because, like,
Oh,
some
sure, yeah.
people, yeah. Some people are just like, you know what bugs me about blah, blah, blah? And, you know, like, pineapple pizza. Like, even I was cutting promos on pineapple pizza. Like, there's definitely a showmanship for sure.
With the TikTok, can you upload videos that you've created off the app?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm thinking like this would be like the most brilliant platform for Botchamania to be putting out
for
some
sure.
of their stuff,
For
right?
sure.
Like, yeah, totally.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, WWE is an account on TikTok that I follow. And
Oh, okay.
it's one of those things. So if WWE is on there, then the way has been paved for wrestling, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's totally like it's a 1 minute video. You can upload it from anywhere. You can edit it however you want. You know that I'm gonna try and reference a guy, and I have no idea what his name is, so that's not gonna help. But he does all the weird effects. Like, he used to like break the screen and push the like button himself.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
so he's doing visual representations, visual tricks.
Oh yeah, like, and the editing is just crazy, right? Like, I'm no stranger to editing. I'm not, not working at Marvel Studios or anything, but I kind of know my way around, and I'm just watching it going like, I don't even know.
I don't know how the hell he's doing that.
Yeah,
well,
I don't, yeah.
And they've Trent, to answer your question too in another way, they've recently opened it up through the web interface. You can now upload a video through there as well. So, like, for example, on my timeline, there is one item where I actually edited it in Adobe Premiere and then uploaded it from there. And there are other people that do that as well.
And yeah, and I think Spark even has a way to connect something there, which would make sense. And Premium Rush. It's interesting because so a nice little workaround for like Instagram, which is supposed to be a mobile only application. To upload anything to it, you need to be on a mobile device.
Yeah.
A way to trick a web browser is to go into your developer settings and change your screen to a mobile device. And then you can upload images and you can comment and act as if you were on like a mobile browser, but you still can't upload videos. You can only do videos to Instagram via the app itself, not even through a web browser. So that's where it, to me, it has more allure, because if I'm gonna spend the time creating something, I'm gonna want to like edit it.
Yeah, well, no.
Right, for sure.
And I'm the same way. Like, even with the silly little robot videos, I will actually shoot them just resident on the iPhone, and then I'll edit them out. If I'm doing anything that is going to be pointed towards me, using essentially the forward-facing camera or the selfie camera, I'm doing that outside of the app, only because the TikTok app doesn't do this, but Apple got smart enough to automatically invert videos after you shoot them, because they know it's backwards when you're shooting it that way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But one of the other things
TikTok
too,
does have an inverted filter,
Yeah,
but it's still a filter.
Yeah, I got to remember to do it, so forget that. And
Yeah,
Trent,
yeah.
here's the other reason. Here's the other thing that's smart, and this is the reason probably why Gary Vee also highly recommends TikTok. Not only just the audience and how easy it's to do, but they have also thrown caution to the wind. You can share your content to any frickin' social media platform you want to from it. They don't limit you at all. They don't force you into just using, Facebook. They don't mind that you're sharing it to here or there. They don't care. They just want the exposure, which is exactly the way it should be.
Yeah.
And they've done that since it was Musical.ly. You could do it. They make sure they put their watermark on it. And if you export to like Instagram, that watermark is going to be in the middle square, whereas if you export to Facebook, it's going to be up in the top corner. But they're making sure that it's branded, and I think that's kind of what put Musical.ly on the map in the first place, was everything said Musical.ly. You know?
Yep. Very powerful platform. I mean, and honestly speaking, I'm not meaning any negative connotation, but I was like, when I came across your account and then Nakai's account, I was like, oh my gosh, this is that's at that point when I saw it, I didn't think, oh my gosh, I could do it too. I just thought that is incredible. I'm so happy for them. That is so incredibly cool that you're able to kind of have a communication and an audience with that many people at once, especially when some of your videos are like literally your wife just talking about what it's like to have a teenage daughter. And I instantly got drawn in because I've got one and I've got one that's going to become one day. So,
yeah,
it's
well,
great platform for content, man.
for sure. And then, like you guys were saying earlier, though, it's like I have that disease too. Like whether anybody's seeing it or not, if I'm not expelling a certain amount of creative energy a day, I'm just grumpy and miserable.
Yep.
Yep. I have to podcast or vlog or music or something. You know what I mean? Because if I don't know, something gets built up and my creative energy turns into depression. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
I completely understand what you're saying. And I've always said that to Trent as well. I'm like, regardless of what we talk about, and I don't know if it's because we're just expelling more carbon dioxide, but when I've spoken to him, anytime I sit down and I have an actual conversation with my wife, anytime I'm getting the ideas out of my head through my mouth, I always feel better afterwards. Like, I always view doing NetHeads as a way more of a therapy session with Trent, in the sense that I walk out of here feeling better than when I walked in. And it's the same thing with talking to my wife. And I just wish we could understand what it is that compels us to do it. I mean, I'm sure it's the same key thing that maybe drives some actors. But, if there's any one thing I learned from being able to drop in at the Jay and Silent Bob reboot set, it's that I am not comfortable in front of a camera in that respect because I don't want to screw up somebody else's stuff. So I know that had my life ever changed when I was younger and different, there is no way I would have been an actor. So I'm very comfortable in the fact that I will never be famous. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
You too, Trent? Or, Trent's just determined to get famous still. I can see it in his eyes.
No, I whatever. I'm just so long and thanks for all the fish.
Right on, man. Well, hey, Blaine, I really appreciate your phone call, and I'm serious. Maybe some other time, too, we may want to get together just to go ahead and just talk shop as a private interview session when you're not driving home from work.
Yeah, for sure.
I just know that I'm starting to get the "Are you done?" messages from my wife, so it's time to wrap up. And I'm not surprised because I actually came in here at 2:30, even though we started at 3. So, and
I understand. I've driven past my turnoff a couple of times, so I should probably get home to the wife. I hear you.
Yeah, you definitely should. I appreciate you spending the extra time with us. I would have shut us down much faster, especially considering the cost of gas. But hopefully, the wife won't be too aggravated with you when you get home.
Right on. No, thanks, guys. I don't know. This is always surreal for me.
Why, man?
I remember like listening to you guys. I don't want to be that guy, but like I came in on episode 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's okay. First time, long time. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least he put it that way, Trent. He didn't say, "Yeah, I remember when you guys used to be something."
Thank God we never. You can't fall if you haven't ascended.
That's very true.
Yeah, there you go.
It's true.
All right. Anyway, thanks, guys, and I will talk to you both later, anytime.
Thank you, man. I'll see you on the TikTok.
See ya.
Bye. Oh, he's a very nice and entertaining guy too.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Big fan as well. Well, anyway, Trent, is there anything else you wanted to talk about now that we've gone so incredibly long? It's insane.
Help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that one. And also, if you are in the what's the geographical location or that
the
station
Intermountain
reaches?
West is the cable region.
Cool. And is there any way I can stream it after it airs so I can see what your hard work put out?
Yeah, I'll put it up on YouTube.
Well, I mean, if you own the content, do you own the content?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what's the YouTube account that people can go to?
Just type in Devotion Championship Wrestling.
Okay, so we'll be sure to have people do that. Wonderful.
And I'll post a link and stuff too. But yeah.
Good. Glad. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in and listening. Thank you, Blaine, for giving us a phone call. Lily Blind Lurker, thank you for joining us, as well as everyone else on the live stream. And like I said before, thank you very much to Sean Ryan for his support on Patreon. We always want to try and mention one of our Patreon supporters per show, because without you guys, you literally would not be looking at, if you're watching the video, the program that you're watching right now. There is Trent showing you how he is using his wonderful cam link.
Thank you.
Even though now I've got to bug poor Trent for another session so that we could try this on his other laptop to see if it is the computer or what. I can't imagine that though. You just rebuilt it.
It could be just the USB connection. Who knows?
I don't know, man. Poor Trent. He's tired. We got to let him go. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning and listening. Once again, my name is Will.
I'm Trent.
And we will be back
Soon.
I hope so. Oh, I think I muted that buzz.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
Oh, whoo! We made it. Did it feel good for you? I feel like I did more talking this time, and I'm sorry.
No, I don't know what happened. I just hit a wall.
That's understandable. You've been going through a lot, or you just don't give two shits
I'm just
about.
tired. I'm getting old.
Hey, you
Feeling my age.
You don't care about TikTok, and I get it. It's fine. I didn't expect to. Although we definitely got to change the show title to the TikTok of TikTok. I think.
Yes, the TikTok of TikTok.